Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Sunday, August the 23rd, and this is DFS Coach Talk coming at you. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. GPP himself, Andrew Hansen. How are you tonight, Andrew? Have you survived this? I saw all the red flames. And kudos to you pulling the GPP in. And I'm not even going to mention, there's an angel that was named after this guy that was cast from heaven. I believe his name was Gabriel.
That's right.
I just wondered if he now has the same fate with you as he did with our Lord.
Well, very interesting. So, yeah, the funny backstory there is the Gabriel factor. And at the last second, well, not the last second, but well ahead of lock earlier today for the Saturday slate, we finalized a GPP lineup. It did not have Wenyen Gabriel in it. It had Gary Clark, and that one really paid off well for our members. It cashed top 11% or so. And what it was a stack of the OKC Houston game. And that lineup did not include Harden, but it included the three guards for OKC. So they all kind of came together, and it was great to see them playing down the stretch together. Then the overtime was a nice bonus. And then we had Lillard and Anthony Davis in that lineup, and they obviously, came on strong in the nightcap. So the GPP was good. And then over on DraftKings, the clipboard paid off again. Gabriel was on there. Unfortunately, we thought he was going to start. And by the time game time tipped, pivots weren't really available. So, we were able to cash with some lineups with him in there. But he finally showed now for the third time that he cannot handle trying to stay out of foul trouble while guarding Anthony Davis. So he won't be in the coach's clipboard tomorrow or the next game. I thought he'd get the minutes, and again, third time in a row, he couldn't stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, no, I just had to give you a little bit of a hard time because every single other guy was a flame on your DraftKings lineup, so it was very impressive. But even the old coach here, even I can learn a lesson. I threw in the towel too early tonight, like a big baby. I was squawking. I'm always promoting our entire team in there to be positive, and everybody's fired up and spin it right. And who ends up whining and crying? Me. But look what happened. Our basketball ended strong. We smacked some good GPPs, and then out of nowhere, Jose Abreu hits 3 home runs.
Yeah,
and slides us into the back end of the cash. How does that happen? He scored 50 fantasy points. It was unbelievable. And I only had 112, and he had 50 of them.
Right.
So, hey, never throw in the towel, never give up, no whining. It doesn't do any good. So we're all for the better. We won, and we all learned some lessons, and it's all great. So now tomorrow's going to be a blast. Sunday, we've got the lock of baseball and basketball only 5 minutes apart. So we're going to be crunching, and then golf's going to be teeing, a lot of them are teeing off just right before that in this final round. So, man, it's going to be, we need multiple screens and TVs to watch tomorrow.
We really do. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great day. So we're fired up. We've got some good stuff for you. One thing I wanted to mention real quickly is you'll see an announcement come out. Leighton's going to be posting on Twitter. We've been teasing it all week, so I figured I better say it here right at the front. We promised yesterday we would. And Monday, day after tomorrow, is Kobe Bryant, or tomorrow because it's Sunday here now, is Kobe Bryant Day. It's really been proclaimed that all over the place, specifically in California, because it's 8/24, his 2 numbers. And we wanted to do something in honor of that, because we always try to push hard for the foundation that was set up there. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some information out there to go all Sunday that'll be around, and then all the way through Monday on Kobe Day. where anybody that likes and retweets what we're sending out there about him and honoring him and in memory of him and Gigi, we will be doing a drawing at 11 p.m. and we're going to post it live on there. 3 free 1 month memberships, and we chose 3 because that's Gigi's number. So we're honoring Kobe on 8/24, and if you know my backstory, I got to know Kobe a little bit for a time frame and coach against him. So it's just I hold that dear to me. So I'm really excited about doing that, and it'll be fun to have those 3 members join us for the free month that win those drawings, and know that they got in there with the Kobe drawing. So we're really excited about that. Keep an eye on Twitter. We'll be posting it in our Discord and all over our social media. And on Twitter, we're at DFS Coach Talk. You can't miss us there. And we'll also have it up on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, please hit the subscribe, the thumbs up, and the alarm button that lets you know when our podcast posts. We really, really would appreciate that. And then on Instagram, we're DFS_Coach Talk. And that is it, man. I want to get rocking and rolling with this and get started because we have 4 really good NBA games. The first being Milwaukee and Orlando. We also have the mybookie.ag lines that are up. And this first game on the slate is Clippers, and I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Celtics and Sixers. Celtics and Sixers. Sixers minus, the Celtics -8.
Summer is here, and sports are finally back, which can only mean one thing. It's time to get back, relax, and make some cash. Everyone has to start somewhere, which is why you want to get off on the right foot by choosing an established book like mybookie.ag. With all the major sports seasons just around the corner, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. Dynamic betting lines and a simple-to-use platform make the process easier than it's ever been. Create your account in just a few easy steps. Deposit and begin placing your bets. Sign up now using promo code Coach Talk to get your deposit matched 100% all the way up to $1,000. Plus an extra $25 free play. That's promo code Coach Talk. Use it to score yourself an extra piece of the pie. With MyBookie, you bet, you win, and most importantly, when you win, you get paid.
And before we jump into these games, I want to thank both of our presenting sponsors, mybookie.ag. It is the place for all of your sports wagering and casino action. Go to mybookie.ag or dfscoachtalk.com. Use the promo code CoachTalk, all one word, no space, and you receive a 100% match all the way up to $1,000 on your first deposit and a $25 free play just for being a Coach Talk listener. And also our friends at tvg.com, 2 weeks from yesterday, that will be the Kentucky Derby. So get tuned in with tvg.com. Go to our website, dfscoachtalk.com. Click on the banner that says $300 risk-free bet, and that's exactly what it is. If you lose, TVG refunds the entire $300. All right, we got to get into these games, man. They're too juicy. And let's go over, first of all, the player news and injury report going into these games.
Yeah.
So we start
big
off
one today.
Yes, there are some big news, specifically one here at the end. So we have Rondé Hollis-Jefferson for Toronto, who remains questionable, and that does affect a little bit of that rotation. Patrick Beverley is doubtful. I'm pretty sure he's out. Gary Harris remains doubtful. He has not played yet in the bubble. It doesn't look like he'll be lacing him up soon. Burke and Porzingis are both probable. And then here is the big breaking news I've been waiting to share with you all night, Mr. Hansen.
Oh, what's that?
Yes. The last guy on the list here is Luka Doncic. He's officially listed as questionable. And I poked and prodded all evening until I got a response. And I do have a little inside skinny from the Mavericks organization.
Okay.
They are saying, as of now, if the game started in 5 minutes, Luka would give it a go. So didn't look like that was going to happen yesterday. It's looking as though it very well could happen now. So again, that's no guarantee. He could wake up and it could be too sore or swollen tomorrow. But at least we know the intent right now when we're building these lineups is that he's going to give it some type of run out there. The question is, do you want to spend that big money on him? But at least he's going to get a shot. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to know that. I was hoping you would have the inside perspective on that. I wish you'd told me that during my prep time, because I was getting excited about some of these Dallas value plays. But at least we know now, and we can all strategize here ahead of time.
I was too busy whining about my baseball lineup tonight. No, I wanted to save it for on the air breaking news. I was going to play that little beep 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 sound in the background, but that's cool. All right, we got to dive into these games, man, because all four of them need some discussion. There's a lot of interesting situations here. The first one is 1 p.m. Boston Celtics at Philadelphia 76ers, and the Boston Celtics are -8. And the over-under is a paltry 213. So give us the skinny on this game and let me know if this is a game that we pass. I think it's going to be pretty low owned.
Well, I am actually interested in this game because this could be the final game for Brett Brown. They are facing a sweep, and I think he's going to go down swinging. And the thing that jumped out at me from the last game is the heavy minutes that these starters played. He really shortened up the rotation, kept these guys out there a bunch. Shake Milton and Josh Richardson got up a ton of shots, and they're really good prices. So I like both of those guys, and I also like Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid. I think Embiid's the kind of guy that certainly doesn't want to get swept, has a lot of pride, plays hard, plays with emotion, intensity. I think all these guys are going to really give it their all, and they're going to be out there big minutes. So I am hoping that they'll at least make it a game. And as you said, folks will overlook this game and we'll get a bit of an edge there. So I'm going to get some heavy exposure to Philly. I may have some lineups with all four of those guys in there. Basically, the start. Yeah. Basically,
that is a hot take, man, because that'll be contrarian. But man, that could be, boxcars if it hits.
Well, basically the starters without Horford. I like the possibilities, especially if your boy Luka plays, because then we don't have as much value with Dallas that I was getting excited about. So that's my plan here right now, middle of the night, as we get ready for the Sunday slate. On the flip side, I don't plan to get much exposure to the Celtics. I think Coach Stevens is going to try to go for the sweep as easily as possible. Play a more normal rotation with the starters 30 to 32 minutes, get his backup some run, keep everybody healthy, and just try to get by with a win, and then gear up for the second round. So even though the Celtics, they're all fairly priced, I think they're all solid plays. I just plan to get more exposure to Philly in this one.
Very interesting. I love it, and I think that could be a fantastic way to roll. I'm probably going to be more, with the public on this one. I think I'm planning on firing up Embiid because, like you said, he's an emotional guy. He's pretty tight with Coach Brown, and I do think it'll probably be his last game. I don't know how long this stays close, but like you said, I mean, right now it's, Coach Brown's looking for a life preserver here. So I don't think he's going to be counting minutes for players. So
that's right.
I get that point. So I think Embiid, Boston is having a heck of a time guarding him. I mean, Tice is too small. They've been using Robert Williams a decent amount and different things, but he's still just completely dominant in this matchup. Yeah. So I am going to start my lineup with Embiid. But I think you made a great point about Boston. Stevens is a orchestra instructor over there, man. He just pushes and pulls and shifts guys and plays different people. And with all of that usage just getting chopped up so much with, all of those guys, I could mention 4 or 5 of them. It's just hard, makes it hard to get the DFS value for any of them to just completely go off because they all share the ball, and even the guys off the bench contribute a lot. So I don't think I'm going to be rostering any Celtics. Plus, there is a slight chance of a blowout here as well.
Yep.
And so that scares me. I think Embiid is somewhat blowout proof because he's certainly not going to play less than 3 quarters in an elimination game.
Right.
And he should be able to smash in that time frame. So I love your game theory here. It makes sense. But I'm probably just going to plug Embiid in and move on, I think.
Okay.
But you may be able to talk me into 1 or 2 of those guys. I'll see.
Well, that's why they have things called GPPs and things called cash games.
They do. And I've got to, I'm such a cash game player. Like tonight, I was about 85% of my play was in cash games. But you've been popping out these hot GPPs. I got to get a little bit more action in those. So I'm going to do that tonight. All right, second game. It is the 3:30 p.m. game, and it is the aforementioned Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks against the LA Clippers. A lot of intrigue in this game. It's been a really fun series so far. It's the Clippers -7.5, so they have a line. I think that's probably with Luka in the 7.5 line. It makes sense. Big, fat, gigantic 232 over under again. So it's going to get the most attention from the DFS players just based on total alone. So, here's the question I have for you. We got the inside skinny. Obviously, I don't know how the heck you pay max dollars for Luka when you're not sure if he's going to make it out there. But how does that affect the dominoes with all the other value plays? And can the Mavericks hang in there to where the Clippers are going to get enough run that they can pay value? So this is a tough one.
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's amazing how one player's presence or absence can affect not the entire game on both sides, the entire slate. Because like you said, if he's not there or he plays a few minutes and then he can't go and then the Clippers end up winning easily, we know that the Clippers they can split up minutes and usage with the best of them, with all those guys that they have.
Yeah.
So man, what a game changer. I don't feel comfortable paying for Luka. Just the way that he looked, he really looked hobbled. So
how many times we're going to make that dude walk up that ramp? Was that hilarious? He showed him like 4 times. Get the dude a chair. He went up like 4 levels of ramps with a busted ankle.
Unbelievable.
It was hilarious.
So I hope he plays. I hope he's healthy. I just don't think I want to spend that much for him. But it goes right down the line. If he's out there for 20 minutes, then all of a sudden there's less action for Porzingis. I mean, I was really starting to lean towards playing him, even though his price is up. Because if Luka was out, it'd be a big opportunity for him. But now he's not as attractive as Embiid. I'd rather pay up for Embiid. And then you look at these guards. I mean, again, I was excited for Seth Curry. He's the one guy that I may play anyway because his stroke looked awesome that last game.
Yeah, he was shooting it.
Oh, just couldn't miss from deep.
Looked like his brother.
Yeah, exactly. And I miss playing Curry's. I can't play Steph. I want to play Seth. So I may go there, especially if Luka's in, then hopefully he'll be lower owned.
Speaking of the Currys, I'm so old. I saw Del Curry play for the Carolina Cougars back in the 70s.
Carolina Cougars?
I swear to God.
Was that like an ABA team or?
ABA. Okay. It was before the merger.
All right.
I'm ancient.
So, Burke certainly in play as well, but he's a little bit hobbled. So if Luka plays, I may only play Seth Curry. And on the flip side, with Beverly doubtful and likely out, if Shamet's going to start again, I will have him in some lineups. The other guy,
Shamet, damn it! I always like to say that just for.
The other guy that I have some interest in is Montrez Harrell. His price is 4K. He's shown signs of life here. I think this could be the breakout for him. Tough to battle with Boban if Boban gets significant minutes, but at least on DraftKings where you can play two centers, I might get some Harrell.
Let me ask you this, because I'm just baffled. I've followed Paul George's career, since the very start. I have never seen him in this kind of funk ever.
Right.
I mean, his shooting is just horrific. So, I don't know. Even if he improves, you can't see him being red hot. I mean, he is just off. So, my approach in this game is completely different. Again, we're going to have different builds here totally. But again, a lot of that's cash GPP. I certainly am not going to pay up for Luka, even with the inside news at 10.5. I mean, obviously, they don't have a chance to adjust any pricing. He's 10.8. Way higher than anybody else on DraftKings, and then 10.5. You just can't. It's too risky. And one little twist, and you're done. So, but here's what I'm looking at. I'm going to go with two studs from this game. And I know it sounds like, Coach, what are you talking about? I want Kawhi Leonard and I want Kristaps Porzingis. And I don't want any of the other minutia. I don't want to watch Carlisle split time between Trey Burke, Seth Curry, as well as he's shooting the ball. Hardaway, who's shooting the ball decently. DeLon Wright, all those rotation of guys, he plays 20, 25 minutes. And then so Dorian Finney-Smith's they all get minutes, and they're all going to chop up, and you got to just sweat out 20 fantasy points. Now, Curry is going to be the hot pick because he looks so good. And then on the other side of the ball, it's the same thing for me. I'm done with this trying to figure out between the two big guys. Now I'm looking at it is Harrell and Zubac are going to split minutes at the center. I don't like playing guys that are splitting minutes. I don't want them. And then Shamet, I think, had the best game that he's had that I've seen him play. I don't see him repeating that either. So, I can't go to George again, knowing the hellacious slump that he's in. So I'm not going to try to find any value in this game. I think it stays close enough that Kawhi and Kristaps are going to be the center of attention for both teams. And I understand on FanDuel, for example, Kawhi's 10, Embiid is 10, and Kristaps is 9. So, I know this is a salary world that we live in, but those are going to be my three pay-up guys. And I'm sharing this in front of, the paywall to all of our listeners out there. I think if you use those three as your base, I think they all have 60, 65 or more fantasy potential. And I think there's enough value in the rest of these two games that you can fill in the other pieces of your roster. And I will share some of those. A couple of the really good low value plays that I have, I'm definitely going to save for our members. But I wanted to share that with you because it's a different strategy for me. I usually like, not stars and scrubs. I usually like more of a medium build where I'm guaranteed feeling good. But I think these three guys are just too good to pass up. Let's face it, if the Clippers are going to smack Dallas, Kawhi is going to be the key to it. And if Dallas doesn't have a full Luka or even a minimal Luka, there's nowhere else to go other than Kristaps. All those other guys will spot up and shoot wide open threes when Luka penetrates or when they try to double down on Kristaps, but they're all sharing the ball, and you never know which one of them is going to make 3 or 4 threes that game. So that's my theory there. What do you think?
Yeah, it's interesting. I got a question for you on Paul George and Kawhi, since you brought up Paul George. Mm-hmm. I took note of the post-game interview that Kawhi did after the last game. They asked him about Paul George.
Yeah.
Can you win the series with him shooting like this? Are you concerned about him? And Kawhi was great. He said, no, I'm not concerned. We have his back. He'll be fine. Yeah. And it just got me thinking, will Kawhi go out of his way, even just a little bit, to try to get Paul George more involved here in the next game, get him more confidence? Is there a chance that this becomes more of a Paul George game and Kawhi doesn't do quite as much? Because he basically took over the last game and, got value, but will he need to do that again? Will he do it again, or might he choose to back off just a little bit to try to get Paul George going?
Well, that's a good possibility. I think he'll go the other route. I think he just wants to smash so that there's no pressure on George. Because, if it's a tight game and he makes the extra pass to George instead of burning Maxi Kleber to the basket for a dunk, right. Why put the pressure on George when he's not feeling it right now? So I'm looking at the opposite direction. Okay. Generally, when I would have a shooter that was in a slump, if I'm coaching Paul George there, I tell him, shoot yourself out of it, man. You're going to lead us. Just keep shooting. But then I have a one-on-one with Kawhi, and I say, listen, he's feeling tense, tight. Let's just, take over the game, take control of it, let him work his way back in on his time. Okay. Let's not give him those pressure shots when he's already feeling pressure. So that was my theory. And I think, Kawhi, Mavericks have nobody to guard him. They don't have an inside presence. Boban can come in there to bang around and slow down Harrell or Zubac, but not Kawhi. Kawhi will just go right around him like he did. And Maxi Kleber is not the answer. I know he's trying his heart out to guard him, but he's just not good enough. I mean, Kawhi's awesome. So, I know it's a sort of an all-in interesting play to, I don't think I've ever rostered 3 of the top 5 salaried guys. I can't remember doing that, but it just stuck out to me in my preparation. Like, oh my gosh, you could get 70, 65, and 75 from these 3 guys. It's possible. Because I can tell you right now, the Clippers had a hard time guarding Kristaps too. Yep. He's just so damn big. He shoots over the top of you, and then he was getting position, and he's actually battling in the paint, which he doesn't usually always do. So, I mean, I don't know. It's an interesting theory, but I wanted to share that with our listeners because it's a unique build for me. And we're going to be so opposite on these slates. We'll be rooting for each other and trying to figure out who's doing well and who's not. So right. We'll see how that goes. Anything else on this game?
No.
All right. Let's go on to game 3. MyBookie.ag, current odds. We've got the Toronto Raptors, a big fat -13. The news Nick Nurse Coach of the Year today. That was pretty cool. And I don't know if you saw it on TNT. They had his old high school coach. He had to be 90 years old. Virtually present him the award. Got teared up. It was pretty awesome. So I was happy for him. I think he's a fantastic coach. So the Raptors, 13-point favorite, over-under's only 217. The multi-million-dollar question here is, do the Nets mail it in? They've been playing their ass off for Coach Vaughn. I think he deserves to get that job the way the Nets have responded. But I just, with Harris leaving and them not having like their top 5 guys, it's just, I don't know if they can have another gut game in there to play Toronto. I'm concerned about this game because Toronto, I think, will roll. And so this is going to be a game. I'm just saying this now so you can break it down. This is where I'm going to grab 2 or 3 value plays, but not the ones you'd expect that are going to allow me the big 3 that I'm playing.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm concerned about this as a blowout as well. I mean, the Nets have a real challenge here to try to dig deep, knowing that they're outmatched. And it's not like they can be more intense than the Toronto guys. These guys bring it every day on both ends. A lot of fun to watch. Coach Nurse certainly deserved that award. But even though I think Toronto may win pretty easily, I don't plan to use many of the Raptors. Again, it goes back to the Brad Stevens approach here. If they can complete the sweep and not, get anybody hurt, I think they'll try to. I mean, he's not the best at taking his foot off the pedal. He likes to get these guys minutes. So I guess if I had to pick, I'd say, maybe the Toronto starters get I would say, on apples to apples, they might get more minutes than the Boston guys, but they're playing the Nets, and I think Philly's probably going to keep it closer than the Nets are. So again, I'm in general going to shy away from Toronto and look for some value with the Nets. I like the amount of shots that Temple and TLC got up last game. So I'm looking at them on both sites. And then depending on price, and filling out the roster, maybe a one-off with one of the cheaper guys, Johnson or Chiozza. And LeVert also in play, but not quite as excited about him. So for me, it's going to be mostly one or two guys from the Nets, and that's about it.
Well, if you want to learn my 3 value plays that are going to be the key to my slate tomorrow, join us at dfscoachtalk.com. We have basically won every night of the basketball restart. We've just been doing fantastic. We've been very consistent in baseball. Tonight wasn't the best, but we had the big Abreu night and came back. So we're doing great. This is the time to jump in. We share a ton of stuff here in these 7-day-a-week podcasts that are free in front of the paywall. But, these real gutsy moves that bring us to the top of the leaderboards, we really do save for our members in Discord, and we have a great community. So, you can join us for just a week, a month, a year, whatever you want to do. But, this is the time to jump in. We've got a lot of great playoff games ahead of us in basketball. We're right in the heart of baseball and golf. And then we've got football sneaking up on us here. So we'd love to have you join us for that. And I do think I have a couple of hot take substitution dude kind of guys. That's all I'm going to share on this Toronto-Brooklyn game. All right, excellent. We go to the next one, and it happens to be the last one. It is the all trying to figure out this game is give you a headache because it's so confusing, in my opinion. Hopefully you can clear it up. But it's the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz. Utah is a 3.5-point favorite now, and this is a 216.5 total. So it's pretty low, as these games have been. But I was surprised to see Utah the favorite. Denver had been the favorite in the other 2 games. So how the heck do you make sense out of this one?
Well, it's a real challenge. I think this is the most unpredictable series that we have.
Definitely.
And by this point on this slate, I'm going to be mostly spent. I'm going to have most of my guys rostered.
Yep.
Low total, hard to predict. Prices are fair. Question mark with Harris. So there's a real good chance I won't have anybody from this game. Maybe a one-off, or maybe if I make a second lineup, then maybe I'll use Murray and Jokic, pair them together, hope that it stays close, hope that they click. We know they love to run the pick and roll together, so there's a lot of correlation with those guys. They're fair prices. That's probably it for me on Denver. And then with Utah, Conley is certainly happy about the family situation.
Yeah, we hit that narrative play the last game.
How about that? 7 for 8 on 3-pointers.
It never fails. I'm telling you that. I'd love somebody to pull those stats. When somebody comes back from having a baby, they usually just tear it up.
Yeah, it was Van Vliet last year in the playoffs. So
yes,
I like the narrative. I am going to plan to get Conley in a lineup or 2 because of it. Feeling good, stroking it. So he's an option. And then Royce O'Neal is one of those value plays at only $4K on DraftKings who could complete the lineup and be a one-off for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. Exact same thinking here. This is not going to be a key game for me. I think, 1, it's unpredictable, and 2, both teams are utilizing their bench a lot that are playing active roles. I mean, Utah with, all this Yang and Clarkson and all these folks coming off the bench, they're getting, really solid minutes. And Denver, they've got, just too deep of a bench, and they're still missing a few guards. Can you imagine if they had Barton and
Harris? Yeah.
Harris back? I mean, I don't know how they play all these guys.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I'm always tempted with Jamal Murray because he can be such a game changer. When he gets hot, he just gets unconscious. But I think there's a few decent value plays here that you can look at. O'Neal being one for sure. And, I still have an affinity for Clarkson also because, he's another guy that can score fast. And, he looks like he's playing for his DFS points a lot of the time. So, but for me, this will be a one-off game. Maybe one guy out of this game, or very, very most one from each side. But I think I'm going to be pretty secure with my lineup going into this late night affair.
Excellent. We'll be a reverse from some of these recent days when we've been heavier later in the slate. We've had to make the comeback. Hopefully we'll all be at the top and we'll hang on in the end.
That's what I'm planning on doing for sure. All right. Again, just wanted to mention, if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the alarm button so you know when our podcast posts. That's really important to us. Don't forget to, keep an eye on Twitter, and for our members in Discord for the Kobe Bryant information that's coming out tonight. Leighton will be posting that for us. And then we'll have that drawing on Monday, Kobe Bryant Day. And speaking of that, our charity of choice here is mambon3.org. That's MAMBAONTHREE.org. Follow us on Twitter all morning with both. We have the 1 o'clock NBA lock and 1:05 MLB lock. So it'll be a very busy morning in our Discord and on Twitter. On Twitter, you can follow all of us at DFS Coach Talk. I'm at Joe Sarvadi, JoeSarvadi. He is at Language Olympic. Shane is at DET Sports Shane, and Freddie is at Freddie Mills 7. Also, Instagram, DFS_Coach Talk, and check our website out. We have some new things posted there, and some good content, some new content too. All right, man. I want to thank our presenting sponsors, mybookie.ag and tvg.com. Sign up for both of them with the promo code Coach Talk, no space, and really take advantage of those wonderful offers from both of them. So that's it, my man. It was an interesting night. We had a lot of drama back and forth and sort of reverse sweat tonight. It was a wild night, but hey, as long as we have some wins on the board, I'm happy.
Me too. Yep. Excited for our members and excited to do it again here on Sunday. Let's have a huge day. Let's crush it. And thank you all for joining us.
We really appreciate it. And of course, we will be back again tomorrow when we look to crush DFS.